Greetings, my name is Nika. Welcome to Nika Knows. Today we're going to be talking about my natural hair journey. Okay, so we're going to start off from jump with a story. I had two stories that came to mind. Y'all was just combing my hair and I was like, ooh, I could do a video. I was looking in the mirror. This is the mirror in front of me right here. And I was like, let me do a video. So two stories came off to my mind off the jump. One was after Hurricane Katrina. I was in high school, y'all. I'm telling my age. After Hurricane Katrina, I moved to Baton Rouge. This is a heat-free brush. Like if you look up heat-free, this is a really good brush. Heat-free brush. And I needed a job. I was in high school. I was my senior year in high school, so I didn't have to go. I didn't have full days of school, so I would be out of school, and I wanted to work. So I went and applied for this job at a Hallmark. The day I went, the person who was hiring wasn't there, so I got their number and I called and I talked to them on the phone and I spoke in a manner that was presentable with my heavy New Orleans accent that I don't really have as much anymore. And the lady on the phone was like, sure, yes, come in, come in. And I went and I had my dreadlocks, and my dreadlocks was pretty, y'all. If I was editing videos, I would actually send it to you. Put it in a video. But they ain't where I'm at yet. And I got there, and the lady was like, oh, come on to the back. And she pretty much didn't hire me because of how I looked. And, I mean, I had on a suit. I had got me a suit, look really nice, very neat, and if you, over time, you probably, you could believe that I was looking real nice, right? But she didn't hire me because I had dreadlocks. Very pretty dreadlocks. And this was at a time where a lot of women didn't have dreadlocks, even in New Orleans. Like, nobody in my school had dreadlocks. Why did I start dreadlocks? The next story gonna come out of this. So, in high school, I was pretty much an activist. Activist for what? For civil rights as an education. We worked with Bibles. I went to a school that was considered like one of the worst in the city. Academically, there was a lot of stuff that happened at that school. And the school didn't have like this is one of the schools that didn't have tissues in the bathroom. They had the metal detectors up and things like that. And the type of stuff I did was, we would protest, like there was this shooting, Justice for Jannard, happened in the Ninth Ward, or, I don't know if at that time, if I had already been out to Mississippi to work with some other youth who was, trying to get quality education as a civil right. And, ultimately it was us trying to get parental involvement at the school, like knocking on doors, making phone calls. Like, we was real. We was serious out there in these streets. But, I'm out there. I met a teacher who is now my godmother, who was lesbian and just very different, very standing out. And natural. She had her dreadlocks. She was very, gorgeous. Not gorgeous. I don't know how to describe her because she was very masculine. But, like, there was a beauty about her, in her eyes and the things that she talked about and the things that she tried to teach us. She was an economics teacher and a social studies teacher. And we watched Roots in her class. She was that kind of teacher. She kept it real. She was from DC. Connecticut or something. And I started learning about like black, like being black and loving black, loving yourself. And I'm out here trying to tell these policemen, stop killing my people. And I don't, I don't even know what my natural hair looks like. I got my first perm when I was in for my pre-K graduation or kindergarten graduation, whichever one you graduate from. I think it was kindergarten. I had my first perm. My mama said it was just hard combing my hair, and I mean you could see it probably was hard combing my hair. So ain't no judgment, but with those things in mind, I was like, I ain't perming my hair no more. I want to know what my hair look like. I want to know what I'm fighting for. I want people to love me, and all my blackness. And I don't even know my blackness enough to love, And that's just a part of it, Like, I had really pretty hair. So, like, when it was permed, it was just really pretty and thick and flowy and everything like that. So, it's like, why would you? And so it was just quite the statement. And that at some point I told my mama asked me, Ranika, when you gonna get a perm? And I said, never. And my mama thought what she was doing, and she was like, oh no, I ain't having that in my house. And she thought I was a lesbian because she knew that a lot of this influence came from my teacher. Nah, I mean, I was, but I didn't know I was at that time, right? But it was already in me. But I didn't know. But she thought I was doing that. She thought I was going to grow my hair natural just to be on some lesbian stuff. And she put me out. My mama loved me, my greatest warrior. Made sure nobody would take advantage of me. Taught me so much. She was like, you going to get the F up out of my house. Ain't no child of mine staying in my house gonna be gay and, nappy headed. And then I gotta get this part too, because this is very real. Like the whole gay thing, that's one thing. And gay is the term we used back then. But this is, like when you go to that's like surface. But at some point in my mama's life, she told this story of walking down the street and somebody saying, oh, marry nappy-headed children. Now, honestly, when I look, I don't know if she was like saying, like, I really don't have any recollection of her voice telling this story. But it's like, I don't know if she was saying, like, I don't want this to happen. I'm walking down the street, somebody say marry nappy-headed children. Or if that actually happened and it clicked in her mind that she ain't gonna never have no nappy-headed children walking down the street. But it was powerful enough for her to respond this way to me. And she put me out. I went to my sister came in and got me because my mama went plumb crazy. My mom was like, oh, hell no. So she called my older sister, and my sister brought me to my godmother's house. Like, I mean, maybe, you trying to follow this woman, maybe she'll let you live with her. My godmother was like, like, no, you can't come here. Like I'm sorry this is happening, but you can't. She wasn't my grandmother at the time. I'm sorry this is happening, but, you can't come here, And so, I went by my grandmother's house, and I remember my papa telling me, you look like a nigga. Now, my papa, very prominent man, like this is the chief. Like, my papa, he was like the chief of a big hunting club out here in Louisiana. And, like, owned several houses, owned the auto shop, Linda Mac, like, he was very respectable. And he was respectable to us, too, me and my little sister, to my family, So, you know, I was his little devil, and now he's talking to me like I'm embarrassing him or something. I don't know. Well, I didn't care. I'm like, look, I'm about to do this for me. Y'all could go and try to be little white girls and boys and stuff like that. But I need to know for myself, do I like myself? You know, am I gonna change it just because I can? You know, what's up with me? And you know, over time my mama, you know, I moved back by my mama. We moved from across the canal. We was staying across the canal. And we moved from across the canal, and that might have been, I don't know what made me stop staying with my grandmother and my grandmother and my grandfather and my grandmother's house. But I was still going to the same school, and I started coming home to my mama, and my mom was like, do something to this effing child hair, because she wouldn't let me get dreadlocks, right? So what wound up happening was I cut the straight part off of my hair, because my hair had been growing out. So I cut the straight part off of my hair. And y'all, it was looking rough. It was rough, y'all. It was rough. But I didn't care. I had a plan. I had a conviction. And wasn't nothing getting in my way. You know, wasn't nothing going to change my mind. I'm just kind of like that. And my mama told my sister, do something to that effing girl hair. My mom used to curse a lot. Do something to that effing hair. Because, you know, because I'm walking around here looking at me. And, so like that was the beginning. That's when I started my dreadlocks, right? My sister twisted me up. My dreadlocks was probably about that long. Like my hair was probably about that long. But my dreadlocks, you know, my curls kind of got like, my hair is different all over my head, right? So it's looking, giving very 4C-ish around the edges, you know. But at the front of my hair, you can't really tell. Well, when I pull it, you can tell. It's a little more wavy, curly look. They try not to say the GH word, you know. But everywhere else is like this. Everywhere else is like this. So that's how I got my dreadlocks. And I guess maybe to keep this video short, I could just talk about that. I'll just talk about my dreadlocks, right? My natural hair whole journey. That's gonna be a long video because I just told you one story, you know, 2 stories maybe. And just to give an ending to that story, eventually my mama cut her hair too. She cut her hair and she was natural. And my mama used to wear gold hair all the time. She used to be saying, ain't nothing fake about me but my hair. You know, ain't nothing fake about me but my hair. But so when she cut her hair and she was natural, it wasn't nothing fake about her. She had a gold teeth. She had a handful of rings, you know, gold jewelry, like real gold, everything, you know. She was like that. That was ghetto fad, baby. And I love it, and I love her. And I, you know, if I have to be in the ghetto category, I'm trying to be like my mom. Okay? But I ain't gonna lie, I ain't trying to be in no ghetto category. I'm trying to get up out the hood. I'm telling y'all too much. Anyways, yeah, so when she accepted and changed her hair, I was already in college. I think I was already in college. It was probably after Katrina. But so I changed. So this happened maybe in if not the 9th grade, the 10th grade that I started wearing perms and stuff. And what am I gonna do with this? And what? If you're still here, go and hit that like button. Share this with people who could use it. And thank you for listening. What's the next part? What I'm trying to get to? So, you know, I continue to go to school. You know, of course, I was kind of quiet in school. Even though I was like a serious activist, you know, I was like a small girl, kind of. But, you know, I wasn't never like, you know, bougie in a negative way, kind of. You know, like, I was cool. I was cool with the slow kids. I could sit anywhere in the cafeteria. A friend of mine, longtime friend of mine, you know, he tells a story about how, you know, I was so cute and stuff like that when I started school. First day of school, he saw me, and it was like a dream. And, you know, I got my food, and I had a little walk on. I still do. Had my little walk on me, and I sat at the retarded table. That's what he called it. And that was just me. So it's like I was definitely like in a smart kids group, but, you know, I was accepted as like a, you know, either, if not like a real person, just like a person, like people would stand up for me if I could definitely stand up for myself, but I was so quiet that it probably seemed like I wouldn't stand up for myself. Like that. I don't know how to describe it, but all I'm trying to say is that, you know, I did my thing. I changed my hair, and people wasn't, you know, like, people weren't always talking to me, but when I changed my hair, it was like, damn, you really changed your hair. Dang, I got a call, and I won't take it. I'm gonna call them back. So, you know, they ain't really care for it, right? But it was like, okay, that's cool. I'm the only girl in high school with dreadlocks. Like, only girl in high school that's not identifying as a gay person with dreadlocks, right? I mean, I'm the only girl with dreadlocks, period. But in the city of New Orleans, I'm like the only girl. It's very few girls in public high school that got dreadlocks. I was one of them. And, you know, Hurricane Katrina happened. I go to Baton Rouge. Definitely only girl out there with dreadlocks. Baton Rouge was kind of bougie. Baton Rouge was very giving me other stuff. Yeah. So I go out there, I got my dreadlocks, I'm going to school, you know, I was trying to get a job, I wound up working at Celebration Station, all that stuff. I graduated from Terra High and went to college. My brother was like, you need to go to college. My godmother had already took me to so many colleges, you know, universities, stuff like that. I didn't want to go to college. I was so depressed. I was so broken. Like, all my activist dreams was just blown in the wind. Got a song about it. And I go to college, still with these dreads. People love my dreads. And I was like a big Christian in college, right? People love my dreads, right? So I had these dreads, and it was like a statement. You know, it was beautiful. So you got this feminine woman with dreadlocks, pretty dreadlocks. Like, they wasn't like super thin. They probably was like this. About that thick, you know, smaller than my finger. And just pretty. Like, I kept them neat, you know. I would twist my hair myself, stuff like that. It was neat. And just after a while, like, you know, like Katrina happened with my dreads. My mama died my second semester of school. Before my second semester of school, I had them went to Disney World. We worked for Disney World. The break after that, or the semester after that. Excuse me. I went and worked at Disney World. I was the first woman to work at Disney World with dreadlocks. I broke that rule. That was me. That was Ranika Marie Shelby. Okay. I broke that rule. And it was crazy. It was sad. You know, like, you know, they was like, you can go and get sister locks, you know, which is the fake twist. Like this, the fake twist. So I'm like, you telling me I gotta cut my hair, go to a beauty shop, get something that looked like what I got, but cut off the real stuff I got? Like, it was crazy. Like, the activists in me, they must have seen it. They must have seen it. Because it was going up and down. It was about to go everywhere. Up in Disney World. There was a brother there who also had dreadlocks. and he cut his dreadlocks. And when I tell you, y'all, it was like a scene from a movie. You know, we meet back at the same place because they kind of take you through this process. You know, you fill out the application, you get accepted, you go out there, then you got to go through the grooming. Like, do you look Disney World ready? Like, did you not see my pictures? You ain't see my pictures? You knew what I looked like before I got here. I know I'm getting loud. I'm sorry, y'all. It was touchy. It was touchy. It was a touchy situation. So there was this brother there, and you know we had them went to the place where they check you out and everything, and then I'm coming back to this same place to see if they approve because I had gold tips too, so I had to dye my hair to black. And I see him. I'm walking in and he's walking out. And it was like how it happens slow motion in the movies. That's what happened. And I'm just looking like I'm walking past him and it's like I want to smile and I can't, you know, like, and y'all know I be smiling. But it was such a effed up feeling and situation. I'm watching, this is like my brother, you know, like I don't know this dude, but he like, we're in the same, you know, we come from the same place. Not because we black. Of course, because we black. But we come from the same place of making a choice to wear our hair like this. Not just for fashion reasons, you know? Like, this is real. I'm just trying to be myself. I'm just trying to be who God made me. And you telling me it's not enough that the people coming to your establishment don't want to see that? Ouchie. I usually put water in my hair, but I did this yesterday, so I did something like this yesterday, wasn't it? But anyway, you know, it was sad, y'all. It was sad. It was really sad. Just looking at his eyes, he had beautiful eyes, you know, just regular dark brown eyes with like the shape of his eyes. Just one of those people who eyes are noticeable, you know, like I think I got some noticeable eyes, you know, like he had them kind of eyes, you know, but you know, like more noticeable than mine, and just the eyes that you could see deeper into the person type eyes, and it was sad. I probably just spent 5 minutes just saying how sad this was. It was so sad, y'all. And I'm just watching him walk out with his hair cut off. He cut his hair. He had to cut his hair to work at Disney World. And I don't know, it probably was all the ammunition I need to go up in there and let the people know y'all done effing lost y'all mind. I don't know if somebody from New Orleans called them people and told them who they messing with. I don't know if anybody else got involved. I don't know if it was me, just me, and all my convictions and my quick comebacks talking to these people because they seriously trying to convince me like I'm stupid or something. Yeah, like, you know, like, this is not just a fashion choice. This is my hair. God made me this way. And I mean, I don't exactly remember the climate of, you know, natural hair at that point, 2008, you know. But I wasn't having it, and they told me it was okay. It was okay for me to have my hair, you know, as long as my ends was dyed and I kept it neat, I could work there. And I worked at Disney World with my dreadlocks. And I ain't even trying to keep it all extra pretty. I was out there. It was hard work out there. Yeah. So, you know, that's a story. That's a story in my dreadlock journey. What else? Yeah, that was that part. Then, you know, I went back to school, had my dreadlocks. People all in love with my dreadlocks. And dreadlocks was very long. got like probably to like right here. So I had like this long dreadlocks. I could wear the big old bun where I just twist the dreadlocks around. And I had this big old circle donut in the back of my head. It was amazing. You know, people didn't know. I don't think people knew that hair could. People wasn't. Like, you think of people with natural hair and stuff like that. And I think my cousin at some point had got dreadlocks. I think she said, you know, I inspired her to get dreadlocks. This is my older cousin. I love so much, Monica. We don't talk that often, but, you know, we got love for each other. People wasn't seeing that. People didn't see black people with hair. Black people natural hair. Unless you was poor. You was so poor you couldn't buy a perm or something, you know? Like, it's like a sight to see. You know how white people, you hear a story about white people, can I touch your hair? Can I touch your hair? It's like that. Black people was like, can I touch your hair? Can I touch your hair? They weren't used to seeing this. But so like that was a thing. And you know what made me cut it off? It was just so much happened. It was just so much happened with my dreadlocks. And you know, I used to go out with my cousins. You know, like we used to be like the Fab Five. So it'd be me and my mama's sister. My mama children and my mama's sister children grew up like sisters and brothers. We didn't live in the same house, but we was like real tight. So Fab Five would get together. The girls of my mama and my auntie children would get together and go out. And whenever my older sister come back from Texas, because after the hurricane, my sister went moved to Texas. So Hurricane Katrina. So excuse me. You know, I would go out with them and have fun. And I was my best friend at the time. You know, like, those relationships dissolved at some point. So, like, I had that in my dreadlocks. You know, like, I'm just holding on to all these things. I'm just holding on to so much. You know, and not saying that dreadlocks hold all these things. This is just what it was to me, right? For me, my dreadlocks was holding all of that. You know, all of that in my identity was in my dreadlocks. So I just wanted something new. So in 2010, and so it probably was like 2004, 2003 when I started my dreadlocks, and because it was 7 years I had them, and in 2010, before I graduated, I dyed them gold for like probably a week or a month or something. I don't know. And then I cut them off. Probably was for my birthday. I don't know. It was in December. I graduated December 10th. And I feel like it was cold when I cut my dreadlocks. But I cut them off. You know, my godmother, she had to cut her dreadlocks plenty of times, growing back plenty of times. So, you know, it was kind of like a ceremonial thing we got at her house, you know, and, you know, she and others cut my dreads, and we went to the river, and we put it in the river, you know, for whatever ecosystem and whatever spirit, you know, like everything happened for a reason. And I hope it was beneficial to something, you know, like birds get your hair and build nests and stuff like that. So I don't know, but it's biodegradable as hair. And, you know, we celebrated that and went out. You know, I had my little bush with some gold spots in it. Little small bush. And that was the end of my dreadlocks. You know, I kept some of them. I don't have any of them anymore. But, you know, I had some that I kept and gave. I think I gave one to my boyfriend at the time. I don't know. He wasn't there. He lived in a different state when we went at school. And after I graduated, you know, I was in New Orleans. He was in Baton Rouge. I went to school in Baton Rouge. So, yeah, you know. Do I miss them? Yes. I ain't had to do all this with my dreadlocks. I washed them real good. Took real good care of them, you know. And let's see how I want to do this. Ooh. I took real good care of my dreadlocks, you know. And, you know, they was always nice and neat and pretty. But, you know, the time came that they had to go. And so I let them go. And I ain't got no regrets about that. If I could do this. Didn't do that. Yeah, let's do that. And, yeah. Is there anything else that I want to say about the dreadlocks? The dreadlock journey? It didn't stink. That was easy to maintain. For me, I didn't put a lot of chemicals in it. I started off with beeswax. And then when somebody else started doing my hair, she would use this grease called hair food grease. That it was like this grease, this 99-cent grease that I still get today. It was like a real cheap grease with the little flakes in it and stuff. It was green. She would use that with mineral oil. She would mix mineral oil with that, and that's what she would twist my hair with, which was so interesting to me because I always thought you do the dreadlocks with something hard. And then at some point I found this product that you can't find anymore. That probably was another reason why I let them go too, because they ain't had that product. And this product was kind of like beeswax, but it was looser and it would dry, you know, with a little bit of a hardness. I don't know, but you know, it had like zebra stripes on it and stuff, if anybody ever used that. But that product stopped selling, so you know, I didn't have that to use anymore. And yeah. What I was trying to see? Oh, I was trying to tell you my upkeep. You know, so you know, by the time, like, before I cut my dreadlocks off, I was washing my hair, you know, every 2 and 3 weeks. I would retwist it. Sometimes I would go as long as a month. I didn't use a lot of chemicals in my hair. If I wasn't like jogging and stuff in the mornings, you know, like those periods in my life, I would jog to campus, and then periods where you couldn't see me outside, like in the wintertime. And, you know, so if like that wasn't going on, what is happening here? I wasn't, dang. I feel like I keep losing my train of thought. Trying a thought over here. It just was, yeah, it wasn't hard for me to keep up. I wash it, I twist it, and I leave it alone. I wouldn't twist it like in between, you know, I mean, unless I really had like a nice gig or something that I was, you know, planning to attend. I wasn't touching my hair, you know. I wasn't touching it. It wasn't happening. And, you know, my hair grew nice and healthy and long, and, you know, it was pretty. And, you know, it was my identity. It was what I could hold on to after Katrina. Hurricane Katrina. After Katrina, that was what I had to hold on to. And, you know, it got me through. It got me through, baby. It really did. And I'm so glad I went through that journey, you know. And I cut my hair off. I haven't had a perm since high school. I have straightened my hair and stuff like that, but now I'm getting into the other journey. So that'll be like a different video. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I hope I inspire you. And I was inspired to do this hairstyle for YouTube. I just looked up 4C hairstyles. My hair is not exactly 4C, but it ain't far from it either. As you can see. And yeah, did I use my last pipe pen? No, I didn't. Thank you. Yeah, boo. Go get your life, boo. You know, that was my journey. I don't regret it. I highly appreciate it. I'm thankful. This is pretty higher than I thought it was gonna be. But I'm gonna put the headscarf on it and see if it do something different. Might have to loosen this up, make it bigger. Gone sparkly, y'all. Your dreadlocks. Get to know you. Love you. Like yourself. If you was watching just for to see the hairstyle, what I'm gonna do to finish this up is spray some water on it, which I need to get another spray bottle. I need to clean this one. And then I'm gonna brush it again with a softer brush that I don't have. Oh, I can use this brush. It's my baby brush. With a softer brush, and then I'm gonna put a headscarf on it, and it's all gonna lay down nice and slick, but not like, you know, you gotta fix them edges, sister, kind of slick. Which I'm about my edges now. You know, you see that in other videos. I be about my edges. But I'm not trying to do the super slick edges in this particular hairstyle, this particular time. I'm trying to go for, I'm natural and I'm gorgeous with it. So, thank you for listening. Take care. Let me see. Hey, babe. See how I can do the other side. Gonna sparkle, y'all.